Volkswagen has been making cars longer than I've been alive. Chances are today you'll walk down your street and see at least two at some point. They've actually been making the Jetta since 1979. Again, longer than I've been alive. So today we're going to take a look at its newest version of the Jetta. This is the 2023 Volkswagen Jetta GLI. As always, I'm going to take you around the car. I'm going to take you on a tour of the exterior, and then we're going to take a look at the interior, and then of course we're going to take it on a test drive. And as you can see behind me and probably all over the car, it's been wintering to the fullest extent, so you're going to see some testing in that too. Let's get started. So starting off with packages, well, there actually isn't any additional packages on this car. What you see on the configurator on the Volkswagen website is exactly what you get. It only comes in standard or manual, but you do have of course, your safety features, your standard safety, front forward collisions, your lane keep assist, your rear view cross traffic detection camera, your sensors for all that stuff too. That's all there. But in terms of like extra performance, extra anything, the GLI is where the buck stops for the Jetta. Let's talk about some of the numbers for this version of the Jetta. It's a Volkswagen turbocharged 2-liter engine that produces 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque from a front-wheel drive. It's front-wheel drive only. It doesn't come in all-wheel drive at all. But you can get it in a 6-speed manual transmission, so our enthusiasts will be happy about that one. They still have it available, or you can do a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, which is DGS in Volkswagen terms. Starting off on the front end, you can see we have a great mix of red and black. And let me say first that this car and me have been through absolute winter war. It's driven me through all types of different conditions and fared pretty well. We'll talk about that more in the driving segment, but you'll see it's encapsulated in ice on the bottom here, and I didn't want to scrape too hard and damage anything because, again, these aren't my cars. But continuing on with the front end, we have these nice daytime running LEDs that run around the headlight. Super nice to have this nice little red strip that comes right across the black that just splits everything up and really looks nice. A little bit of chrome, but I like the look of it as well. You have your big GLI badge, of course, because you spent the most money on the most expensive version of the Jetta. You want people to know it's a GLI. It's not just any boring old Jetta. On the bottom there, you can see it looks like it should house fog lights, but it's just kind of like a design detail. It doesn't actually hold anything at all, and the vents here that you see aren't usable at all. So it's nice to have. It differentiates itself from the base Jetta that you can get. The base, so if you equip your Jetta to the max, well, it won't look like this. You have to get the GLI, and then you'll get the sporty front end, the nice front diffuser here, and everything else that comes with it. Let's take a look at the rest. Moving on now to the side of the car, you can really see the compactness of it. Again, you have that nice red and black mix, nice black mirror, nice black on the bottom. You can see this is actually black, but it's very, very dirty, so you wouldn't be able to tell. Nice big GLI sign again, which is super nice to have. Nice black 18-inch wheels, blacked out with the red brakes. They're not Brembo or anything, nothing special, but still. It also comes with your 1-button lock and unlock door. Some manufacturers have this button flush. This one's kind of sticking out a little bit, so it has worked all winter. Some other cars, they won't work because it's so in the body that it just freezes in the body. This one, so far, as long as there's no ice on the door handle, which has been the case this week, it will work no problem at all. Onto the back of the car now, you can see it has that nice little, it looks like a spoiler. I'm not sure if it is, but it is angled up a little bit, so I'm going to call it a rear black spoiler. Again, looks nice with that red paint. Your nice GLI badge there, again, nice and big, so that everybody knows who's driving behind you, you've bought a Jetta GLI and not just a normal GLI. You have a hidden camera under here. It is here, it's for the rear view camera. The quality is quite decent. Big rear diffuser, again, I really like the way they've done that. Two big twin tip exhaust pipes here. They're not tuned, they're not anything that you're going to brag about, but it is there, and it is nice to have, and this sounds all right. It's not terrible at all. The trunk space is good. I can fit a lot of things in there, normal life. It's definitely not SUV size. This is a sedan, but it's what you'd expect. If you put the seats down, you'll have plenty of room for anything you need. All right, we're sitting on the interior of the Jetta GLI, and if you like the outside, you're definitely gonna like the inside. It's not boring. There is a lot of black, but they have these nice little accents here. I can't tell if it's wood or black with like red stripes in it, but anyways, it splits up the dash really nicely. I really like this shifter right here. It's got red accents, and then you actually have what drive mode that you're in right on top of the shifter. There's some empty buttons here on the center cluster here, but you know, I guess they had to cut some corners and they couldn't put every feature that they wanted because, again, this car is in a really affordable price point, especially for a GLI, especially for a performance version. So I'll take that. I'll let it pass there. The steering wheel is really good. It feels really good. The leather is nice. It's got a nice GLI badge again on the steering wheel with another red accent as well. You also have these little LED light up haptic touch thing, which I don't like at all. I prefer the physical buttons on there. You have a bunch of stuff in here. You have an 8-inch infotainment screen. You have your nice vents that heat up quickly, automatic dual zone climate control, pretty much everything you want. Heated seats, no heated steering. And this is where the bamboozle kind of happens here with the heated steering. I can see it. Looking at the steering wheel right now, I can see that there is a heated steering wheel button, but it is not lit up. So it means that it's not even in the car. And you can't option it out because, like we said at the beginning, what you see with this trim is what you get. You can either get manual or automatic, and that's the only two things you can really change besides the color. So unfortunately, no heated steering at all. The door trims here, though, look really nice. Red stitching, leather seats as well with the red stitching. There's red stitching everywhere. There's a red and black mix everywhere. If you are a fan of red and black, I would recommend this car. Just this car. It's the perfect mix here of red and black. The Volkswagen logo is updated. It is the new one, so I like the look of that as well. I really like the look of the new Volkswagen logo than the old one. I didn't really prefer them as well. You have a digital gauge cluster here behind the steering wheel that is good. It's responsive. It doesn't lag. It's basic, though. You have a little bit of information that you can go through and a little bit of different display screens that you can go through, but you can't actually customize it so much, but it's not a big deal. Believe it or not, you wouldn't expect it in this price point, but these seats are memory seats. I can set from 1 to 3 on the seat here, and they are memory seats. The passenger seat, doesn't have that. But again, in this price point, memory seats. Wasn't expecting to see that at all. You have Beats audio, which if you are a fan of music at all, get the Beats audio. Honestly, it beats the Mercedes. I can say that I've had a week with this car. I've had a week with the Mercedes. This car in the Jetta GLI, which is like $20,000, maybe $30,000 cheaper than that Mercedes we drove last week. This sound system is better by quite a margin, surprisingly. Of course, this car also comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We're used to seeing that by this point. It's not a surprise, but what was a surprise is the fact that it is wireless. At this price point, I wasn't expecting to see it. I was surprised to see it. But it's there, and it works really well. And also, you have a wireless charging pad right down here, as well as plenty of storage. The charging pad, my phone fits. USB Type-C, no A. So again, if you're not up to date with the cable standards, you're out of luck. You're going to have to buy a C and plug your iPhone in there. But you have the wireless charger, so it doesn't matter, and wireless CarPlay. So I have not had to use a wire in this car at all. Super beneficial. The rear seats are a nice place to be as well. They're comfortable enough to do however long of a road trip you want, and especially if you're doing it in the winter because they are heated. Unfortunately, there is no climate control back there or even air vents back there, but I'll take the heated seats over that because that is a nice feature to have. Again, the price point, not expecting that. I opened the back door for the first time, saw the heated seats button, and I was absolutely proud of Volkswagen for doing that. You didn't give us the heated steering, but at least we got rear heated seats for the people that we take in the car. So then I've showed you everything there is to show you about the car. Let's take it on the road and let's see how it kind of drives in the winter. The roads are kind of weird today. They're not fully plowed, but they are. So we'll give you a good road test in the winter. Okay, 2023 Jetta GLI on the road in the winter. It's absolutely been the winter. I think maybe when we had the GMC, that was just a taste of winter. No, this now is the real thing. We've got about 20 centimeters of snow just in like the past 2 days. It's finally stopped, so the roads are not too bad, but I can tell you that I drove to work in that 20 centimeters, so I do know how this car performs in the winter, which is good to know. It's good knowledge, especially for people who live in Canada like me. So I'll get to that in a little bit. I just want to mention that the fuel economy so far per 100 kilometers has been around the 9.0, which is pretty good. I think if you're driving in eco mode, which I'm not, I don't know why you would with the GLI. It's got quite a good transmission and everything that you'd want to drive it in sport. But if you drive it in eco, I'm sure you can get that number down to probably around 7, maybe less. It should be there. Sometimes when I did test it in eco mode a little bit, I saw after the fact that it wasn't actually 9, it was around a 7 or an 8, which is still good. The fuel economy is not too bad, so I really like that part of it. So like I mentioned, I have been driving it in the winter, no problem, other than the fact that it's a front wheel drive. You're at a disadvantage no matter what car you're in, and I think even with new snow tires, when there's a lot of ice and then snow and then rain, you're just gonna slip a lot more than you would had you had an all-wheel drive car. I noticed the slipping mostly trying to turn and give any sort of power. The wheels would just spin, and also obviously from a complete stop when there was a bit of ice under the wheel, it would just spin. The car does naturally have a lot of torque, which we'll see in a little bit, but it's just, in the winter, it's not the greatest thing. You will survive and you'll be fine. I think your snow tires are going to matter a lot in just driving forwards and just doing general stuff. Your winter tires will matter with this car, but you'll get through winter okay. Now this car does have a little bit of performance. You can definitely feel its torque. I haven't done like much launch control and much performance testing because, well, I've been locked to about 40 kilometers. Now the road's a little bit dry, so I can push it a little bit. So I have my nice shifter here, and if I press it once back like this, it'll put me into sport mode, which is nice. Easy, you don't have to. It's got a bunch of different modes. It's got like your comfort, your normal, your eco, your sport, and your custom mode. And we'll talk about custom mode in a second. I just want to highlight the sport mode and a little bit of performance on this car. There's somebody behind me right now, so I'm gonna have to be careful, and somebody in front of me, so I'm just gonna have to time this right and just bother the guy behind me just for another second here, and then I will press the throttle. It's not bad. It's not like the Mercedes where I was like, whoa, kind of thing. It's got enough torque, which is fun, to put you back in your seat at low speeds, which is cool. I drive a DCT, a dual clutch transmission, for those who don't know, Hyundai, that doesn't do this. It doesn't have as much power as this. The shifting isn't as good as this. I think Volkswagen have beaten that side of Hyundai. Maybe not their N line, or not their N line, but their actual end products. Maybe, the tuning maybe is a little bit better on those, but for what you get here in the Volkswagen, it's really, really good, and it's really, really fun to just go. You hear that noise too? That's unfortunately pumped in audio. That's not actually the real engine noise. Like I said, it does have dual exhaust in the back. They sound all right, but it's nothing like crazy that would blow your mind. It's pumped in audio, which is okay. I think if you're on a road trip, you're probably not gonna like it so much because it'll be a little bit annoying, but just for this, I haven't turned it off once all week because I like it. It's, what the hell, it doesn't matter. Who cares if it's really outside or not? Like, personally, I don't. It would be nice to hear that little engine burble in the back, and you roll down the window and you can hear it blasting, but again, price point. I love it for the price point. I love everything you get in this car for the price point. Volkswagen have done an excellent job there. Now, I mentioned briefly drive modes, and the most interesting drive mode would be the custom mode, because the custom mode, you can change every aspect of how the car drives. It's got a whole list of things you can do. You can change its electronic limited slip differential, which is cool. It has one of these. It does, and it works well, especially in corners going at speed. I could really put the power down in the middle of corners in this car with no complaint. So I can usually keep that in sport. You can change your transmission shifting, comfort, sport, eco. You can change your engine mode, comfort, sport, eco again, all those things, and you can change your dampers. This car has dampers, adaptive dampers at that. And I don't know if I mentioned, did I mention that the price point is extremely good and you get all that stuff? That's so awesome. It's so awesome to see a manufacturer do that, to give us like more for less, because I think last week we maybe saw the reverse of that. We saw less for more, and Volkswagen is just like, no, you're not going to get your heated steering wheel, but we will have adaptive dampers, and the ride quality has been incredible because of that. So absolutely no complaints there. I am going really slow now, by the way. If you see the rushing of the window has stopped, it's because it's a slow moving vehicle, but I'm trying to make a point, so we're gonna leave this right here. So the fact that it has adaptive dampers to me was surprising. Didn't expect it at all, but when I looked at the spec sheet, look at that, it does, and they work. beautifully. Like in comfort mode, this car is, and you wouldn't expect it because it's so low to the ground. The wheels aren't that big, they're not that thick, so you expect to feel the Quebec roads like rattle your spine around, but that's not at all the case. It's so smooth. It's like almost SUV level smoothness. It's not GMC smoothness, but it's like on rival with, like I said, the Mercedes that we drove the other day, which is an SUV with way higher tech electronics in there. But Volkswagen have managed to do that, and I'm impressed, like just purely impressed by that. I would have liked to see them add more power to the car. I know I'm spoiled, but I know they did it with the Golf GTI. They added a little bit more power and tuned the engine a bit more. They didn't this year. I think it has the same amount of powertrain that it did last year, which is unfortunate because this car deserves more power. It deserves more rip speed for what it is on the interior, just to be able to like shoot in a straight line way faster, just be way better. But for what it is, it's worth every penny. I can say that. I think that Volkswagen is probably targeting a younger market with this car, probably the market that I'm in, the younger crowd. I made a boomer joke before, but I am 26 years old. I haven't hit the 30 threshold yet. Sorry if you're 30. That's not old, but I'm just saying that I am younger. I do like the sports sounds. I do like the sound system. That stuff sells to me more than, you know, how easy it is to get in and out of, how low of the floor it is to get in and out of. That stuff is irrelevant to me at this age, and I think other people at this age too. But the sports sound, the way it handles the dampers, the way that you can customize your drive, that all sells me a car instantly. And the fact that it's well priced, because us 26-year-olds, maybe the sort of select few, are not rich. We don't have endless budgets. But this fits kind of right in the perfect range. The only thing that sucks, and the only reason that I wouldn't buy this car, is because it's not electric. And to me, my next car has to be electric because I just want to be ahead of it when the switch happens. We all know it's coming, like it or not. You're getting an electric car one day. You can't stop it. So I'd rather just do it now, and then rather than be disappointed. I'll always love my gas cars. That will never change. But I want my main daily driver to be an electric car. And unfortunately, this isn't electric, but Volkswagen does have a nice lineup of electric cars, which I hope to get my hands on in the near future and show you guys. And then we can talk about whether or not I would buy that one. But I really am in the market for an electric car. But if I wasn't, my main person I look for, because I leased a Hyundai already, so naturally I'm looking to redo that. But if I was gonna buy this car, Hyundai have an absolute run for the money with the Volkswagen, because I think I might. I don't want to say definitely because I haven't driven the Nissans and stuff like that, but this is definitely like top in its class in my opinion, and top in my list as well. And you can't tell me no to that because it's my opinion or my list. Maybe the class thing you could tell me I'm wrong and it's like 5th, but everything else you can't say anything. I recommend that you go for a test drive like always, but this one I think it's gonna stick with you. I do. I think that once you sit in this car and see the interior, see how it's not boring, see how it's younger, focused, I think you'll really enjoy yourself in this car. So my recommendation is to go and test drive it and see, and let me know in the comments if you do, if you own one, if you own an older Volkswagen Jetta, let me know how you think this compares. I want to hear everything there is to know about the old Jettas, the new Jettas, what you think Volkswagen could do to improve the Jetta in general. Let me know what you think about that. And follow us on the Discord. Follow me on Instagram, technically_cars, TikTok, everywhere. It's technically cars, everywhere, YouTube, everything like that. Subscribe to the PRN channel if you are new here. We got old cars maybe in the summer. We got new cars all year round. As long as the new cars keep coming out and keep being available to me, I will continue to drive them for you because I absolutely love it and it never gets old, let me tell you this. So, with that being said, I hope you guys are having the best day ever watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope we helped you make a decision on whether or not you want the Jetta GLI or do you want just the base Jetta. Hopefully this GLI sold itself to you. Hopefully we can get a few people in them because this car deserves to be driven. It deserves to be on the road. That's what I think. That's where I'm going to leave it. Drive this car now. It's excellent. It's fun. And we will see you in the next one. Take care.